application for Kenya Medical Training College KMTC March 2026 intake is ongoing. Interested Form 4 leavers from previous years up to 2024 are invited to apply through the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service KUCCPS portal. Log into the application portal students.kuccps.ac.ke and submit your application. For application support or guidance, visit any KMTC campus or Huduma Center near you. Deadline is January 27th, 2026. Visit KUCCPS website www.kuccps.ac.ke for more information.
You remember the bright, needy students from Migori County, whose story we aired yesterday on Prime Edition. Now, there is a breakthrough, the power of Prime Edition.
Sebastian's full education will be catered for all through to university. Data Protection Commission assures the country of data privacy ahead of 2027 general election.
We will be giving you the details of what transpired at that data privacy conference that was held today. But first things first, look at our top stories tonight. Parliament on retreat.
MPs in Naivasha to reflect and refocus ahead of next week's resumption of House sittings.
We cannot increase these constituencies beyond the 290. Neither can we reduce them to below 290 because it's the Constitution that capped them, that placed them at 290.
IEBC rules out scrapping or creation of constituencies ahead of the 2027 general poll. New appellate judges.
President Ruto appoints 15 new Court of Appeal judges.
Thank you for joining us on Prime Edition. I am Mboya.
I am Muchuma Odim. Our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Our sign language expert tonight is Lensa Odingo.
We begin with that IEBC story. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission now says that no constituencies will be added or even reduced ahead of the 2027 poll due to numerous bottlenecks within the electoral body.
Speaking to the media on Tuesday, IEBC chairperson Erastus Ethocon cited strict constitutional timelines, unresolved census data disputes, and the need to avoid straining election preparedness as the hindrances to the boundary delimitation.
Now, the IEBC boss said that the commission will instead adopt a phased boundary review, warning that attempting a comprehensive exercise now would undermine the integrity of the electoral calendar.
He revealed that the Commission is unable to rely on the 2019 census data for population figures, as the data is currently subject to court proceedings.
Well, he also regretted, beg your pardon, that though boundaries delimitation remains a constitutional mandate, he, however, acknowledged that the Commission has exceeded the required review timelines of between 8 to 12 years.
IEBC has now ruled out any exercise aimed at creating or scrapping constituencies ahead of the 2027 general election. IEBC boss Erastus Ethekon revealed that the Commission will not act upon any proposal to increase more constituency beyond the current 290.
Kenya has 290 constituencies, and that number, the Commission, even if we were to conclude this boundary review ahead of the 2027 general election, and I say if, we cannot increase these constituencies beyond the 290. Neither can we reduce them to below 290, because it's the Constitution that capped them, that placed them at 290, nothing more, nothing less.
Ethekon said the Commission will instead adopt a phased boundary review, warning that attempting a comprehensive exercise now will undermine the integrity of the electoral calendar. He revealed that the Commission is unable to rely on the 2019 census data for population figures, which is currently subject to court proceedings.
Until the courts resolve that issue of that population census report and the litigation around that is resolved, we can therefore not use that data for the discharge of our mandate.
Acknowledging that the Commission has exceeded the required review timelines of between 8 and 12 years, the IEBC boss said the time available for now to the 2027 general elections is not sufficient to undertake such a monumental task. The IEBC chair further called on Parliament to amend relevant laws to ensure the county government's act that is pushing for more work to be created is realized.
The County Governments Act has capped wards at 1,450. So again, there is the conflict between the County Governments Act and the Constitution of Kenya. So that's an issue that we have flagged, and we hope that Parliament will address that issue by amending the relevant law so that then it removes that contradiction in the law.
He said the many challenges facing the Commission will be addressed after the 2027 general election, calling on Kenyans to exercise patience as the electoral body tries addressing any challenges for a seamless 2027 general election.
For us, we're planning on a scenario where we do the best we can under the circumstances, we continue with the activities, and then while focusing also on the general election. After that, then we will resume and proceed to complete maybe within a year or even later or two.
Ethekon cited financial constraints facing the Commission as a big challenge, calling on Parliament to relook at its budget. With only 593 days remaining for Kenyans to go to the ballot to elect their new leaders, the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission is racing against time, moving with speed, putting its house in order to ensure it delivers a free, fair, credible and transparent election come August 2027. Timothy Kipnusu for Prime Edition, Nairobi.
President William Ruto has appointed the 15 judges of the Court of Appeal.
Now, in a Gazette notice issued on Tuesday, the president appointed Hedwig Mbosa Ongudi, Matthews Nduma Nderi, Lynette Mumo Ndolo, Enoch Chacha Mwita, and Lucy Mwihaki Njuguna.
Others are Samson Odhiambo Okongo, Rachel Chepkoech Ngetich, Joseph Kipchumba Kigen Katwa, and Stephen Anderson Redido.
Now, also in the list are Brown Murungi Kairaria, Ahmed Isaac Hassan, Paul Lilan, Munyao Sila, Johnson Okoth Okello, and Bairam Ongaya.
The appointment has followed their recommendation by the Judicial Service Commission.
Now, those are the new appellate judges. Now, let's take you back to a story that we aired yesterday. Sebastian Onyango, that bright but needy student at Nyakwere Primary School, all the way in Migori County, whose story, of course, we highlighted yesterday, has received a major breakthrough.
Onyango, who posted 62 points in his KJCEA examination, wanted to be allowed back to school to repeat grade 9 due to lack of fees.
Well, but that's not going to happen, and the reason is simple. Various stakeholders, including the Nairobi Governor, Johnson Sakaja, through his foundation, have now stepped in, and they are making a commitment to fully sponsor Sebastian's full high school education, and further vowing to support him all the way, believe it or not, to the university level.
And here's that report.
Sebastian Onyango, a top-performing 2025 grade 9 candidate at Nyakwere Primary School in Migori County, who scored 62 points in the Kenya Junior School Education Assessment, had opted to repeat grade 9 after failing to join grade 10 due to lack of school fees.
I'm requesting my teachers, please don't send me away. Let me be and continue learning with my fellow learners so that I can get a grade that will enable someone to sponsor me, because back at home there is nothing.
Today, he tells a different story. Sebastian was officially picked from Nyakwere Primary School by the Homa Bay County Director of Education, Eunice Haemba, alongside Oriwo Boys High School Principal, Tom Amadi, to start his new journey of senior secondary education. Following a public outcry, the Migori County Education Office, community members, and intervention of the Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja through the Sakaja Foundation stepped in, committing to sponsor Sebastian's full secondary education and further pledging to support him through university. Additional support poured in from the community, with one parent donating a mattress, another offered a box, while Rongo constituency aspirant Nelson Adoko deposited 20,000 shillings in his school account. Nyakwere Primary School staff also raised 10,000 shillings to support Sebastian.
And thankful to those who have supported me to reach here, and I'm promising to work hard and make them proud.
This morning I called the head teacher and he told me the boy is already in school, and so I joined my county director of education, Madam Haemba, this morning so that we could come and collect the boy so that he could go and start learning as we look for well-wishers.
With the support received from well-wishers, education officials in Migori County confirmed that the support is now sufficient to allow him to begin his studies without interruption.
Nawaomba tu kwa hisani wale ambao walikuwa wanamsaidia kumsupport, waendelee tu kumsaidia kumsupport, kwa sababu mtoto mwenye ni mwerevu kwa akili, pia ni mwerevu pia kwa zile vitu ambavyo anaweza fanya na mkono zake.
Finally, today as we are speaking, is going to join the rest of his colleagues who actually sat the same grade 9 exams, and together as grade 10 they are going to be in school, and we are very happy for that.
Sebastian's journey from choosing to repeat class due to poverty to securing a fully supported path to secondary school has become a powerful symbol of both the challenges facing vulnerable learners and the life-changing impact of timely intervention. For Prime Edition, I am Teresa Mutai.
We wish Sebastian all the best, and thank you everyone who took part in ensuring Sebastian is back to school.
Absolutely.
Staying with education matters, the government is investing in education infrastructure development, teachers training, and career guidance structures to ensure learners' successful transition to the competency-based education system, including the expected admission of over 1 million learners to institutions of higher learning by 2029.
Now, speaking during the inauguration National Career Conference at the Kenyatta International Convention Center here in Nairobi, Kenya, State Department for Higher Education Principal Secretary Beatrice Inyangala said reforms in curricula and pedagogy are already underway to facilitate smooth implementation of CBE in institutions of higher learning.
Here is that report as compiled by Joseph Ohungu.
With ongoing education reforms under the competency-based education framework in the country, focus is now shifting to preparedness beyond junior high level to tertiary level. Principal Secretary for Higher Education Beatrice Inyangala has exuded confidence that the country will achieve a 100% transition of learners from grade 9 to grade 10 onwards, with adequate infrastructure, trained teachers and career guidance structures in place.
We are prepared for the students who have just graduated from grade 9 to join grade 10. The teachers have been adequately prepared.
The piece further revealed that universities across the country are currently reviewing curricula and intensifying pedagogical training to ensure readiness for the first cohort of CBE learners expected to join higher education in 2029.
We have also reviewed the coverage and scope of our programs, and we know there are gaps in areas like the sports, the creatives, and going forward we'll be admitting more teachers to be able to get the expertise that is required to deliver these courses in our universities.
As far as universities are concerned, we are already on top of things. We are changing our curricula to ensure that the curricula is well aligned to CBE.
The two spoke at KICC Nairobi during the launch of the first National Career Conference convened by the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Services KUPS. The conference comes at a critical time with admission from the government that there's a mismatch between skills and available job opportunities.
We have been grappling with the problem of mismatch between the products that come out of our universities and the job opportunities available. So this intervention is critical.
KUPS CEO Agnes Ohome says the conference aims to change the narrative around career excellence by involving parents, teachers and students in informed decision-making.
As we move to the new curriculum, we want to celebrate competencies and not the grades. If we just focus on the students like we've been doing in the previous years, we find there's still a gap when the parents still insist that the students have to do what the parents would like them to do.
With transition into the new system of education well underway in the country, the government says it will be adequately prepared to receive over 1 million learners expected to transit into institutions of higher learning come 2029. Reporting for KBC Channel 1 from KICC Nairobi, my name is Joseph Wahungu.
Wahungu's story brings us to our first break. It's exactly 15 minutes past the top of the hour. You are watching Prime Edition, coming to you live from Broadcasting House here along Harithuku Road. I'm Mboya.
I'm Odim, and we are just getting started. Stay with us.
Are you a talented artist, or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Elimu ni taa, gizani uzaga.
Elimu ni bahari isiyokauka zinge.
Karibu katika sanaa ya Kiswahili, bahari yenye kina kirefu.
Sote tumeandika, hii kweli ni balaa.
Bila shaka tunazama na tukiibuka vipaji, talanta mbalimbali ndani ya sanaa ya Kiswahili.
Nina neno kwa vijana, mihadarati na pombe, kila madhara mabaya.
Kuna bunge la mwanafunzi, uchambuzi wa vitabu na kulizamia swala zima la fasihi.
Mchimba shimo huingia mwenyewe.
Kwa hivyo unasoma dondoo, alafu unabaini ni fani gani ambayo tunaichokea.
Ipate chemsha bongo bila tafadhali wala kibali.
Na si hayo tu mtazamaji.
Kumbuka, ni sanaa ya kipekee. Tuchangamkie Kiswahili,
tufurahie sanaa.
Welcome back to Prime Edition.
Our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. The Deputy Inspector General of the Administration Police Service, Gilbert Masengeli, on Tuesday visited Hulugo Township in Garissa County to condole with families of 2 victims killed in separate but closely linked incidents that have shaken the area.
Masengeli, who represented the Inspector General of the National Police Service, Douglas Kanja, reassured residents that multi-agency security teams have intensified operations to track down and arrest those responsible for the killing of Boma Location Chief Abdi Fatah Ghani and Hulugo Primary School teacher Peter Musili.
During the visit, the DIG met the bereaved family of the slain chief, addressed teachers and pupils at Hulugo Primary School, and held security briefings with officers deployed in the area, calling for greater vigilance, community cooperation, and proactive policing to restore safety within the township and the surrounding border regions.
Here's that report.
Kuja kwa sababu ya kuwajulia hali. Sawa.
I want to encourage you, take it as an isolated case. We as the government, we are not going to leave anything go that way. We are going to make a follow-up to the logical conclusion and ensure that your safety is our responsibility. At all times, we'll make sure you are safe. About the request of escort during the closure and opening, that one is something you can just arrange and we will do it. There's no question about that, because their safety is our responsibility and it matters a lot to us. Thank you. Stay safe. Be well.
The Universal Health workers drawn from different counties have staged a peaceful protest at Hafia House, demanding absorption into permanent as well as pensionable terms, payment of 8 years gratuity, and remittance of National Social Security Fund NSSF deductions.
The workers warned of possible disruptions of health services as their contracts are set to expire in April. Addressing the UHC workers, Cabinet Secretary for Health, Eden Duale, assured them of the transition once the Commission on Revenue Allocation confirms the required funds, amounting to 8.9 billion shillings for a smooth transition.
He urged the workers to exercise patience, and here is that report put together by Kasichana Masha.
The contract is coming to an end in April. And so far, we only get statements that this process of absorption has begun. But the ministry and the government have not officially communicated. And therefore, we demand or we want an official communication.
Ili kwamba tuendelee kuhudumia Wakenya, watubadilishie hiyo kandarasi kwa sasa, manake kuna makubaliano katikati ya national na county government through the 12th government summit yenye walielewana kwamba watatuconfirm kutoka mwaka jana mwezi wa 9 na bado tunangoja.
On the 19th of January, and I'll give you this letter, which is co-signed both by my PS, Dr. Uma Oluga, and Madam Mary Mwiti, Chief Executive Officer of Council of Governors, where they have written to the chairperson of the Commission on Revenue Allocation, asking her that the money is available, and we are advising CRA to add to the Division of Revenue Bill 2026 baseline an amount of 8,937,415,000, which is a total requirement to transition the UHC workers.
A story we highlighted for you at the beginning of the broadcast. Office of the Data Protection Commissioner Immaculate Kasait has reiterated that it's working round the clock to create awareness on data privacy, even as they secure data ahead of the 2027 general poll.
Now, speaking during the ongoing data privacy conference held in Mombasa, the commissioner outlined the interventions that they've put in place, including conducting an audit for the Electoral Commission so that they can identify the gaps ahead of the poll.
Attending the conference was the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation Managing Director Agnes Kaleche, who disclosed that the national broadcaster is investing in an AI tool to verify the information coming from the public for broadcasts.
The interventions we have made is give a guidance note for electoral processes for all those people in elections. The other thing we are working with is to make sure that we conduct an audit for the Electoral Commission so that we are able to identify what gaps are there when they are moving towards election. The other thing that we all want to do also moving forward is to make sure we build capacity for them in terms of data protection. We have also done an audit for the Registrar of Political Parties, and we continue to build their capacity on an ongoing basis because, as you know, matters data protection and ongoing. And finally, awareness creation. We've also encouraged them to continue to register those who haven't registered as data controllers and data processors because of how much information that they collect.
What we're doing at KBC is investing in very simple AI tools that will be able to verify all the information that's coming from the public because, you know, we've talked about data privacy. And right now in the era of social media, there's a lot of, videos, audios coming from the public that could not be filled. So I think as a public, as a public institution which is entrusted with disseminating information, it's important for us to ensure that the news we get out, the information we get out to the public can be verified and is real, just to protect the public.
Thank you to Naivasha, and the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has implored Parliament to exercise responsible oversight that will not cause administrative paralysis in the National Executive.
Speaking during the opening of a 4-day retreat of MPs in Naivasha, Speaker Wetangula also discouraged watchdog committees from wasting resources examining accounts with no audit issues.
Now, the MPs are meeting to reflect and refocus ahead of the resumption of the sittings that will take place sometime next week.
Gishuki Washira reports.
Members of the National Assembly will for the next 4 days reside in Naivasha to reflect and refocus on legislative and oversight agenda ahead of the House reopening next week Tuesday. Addressing the lawmakers, Speaker Moses Wetangula cautioned the House committees against paralyzing the operations of the National Executive through unnecessary summons of members of the Executive to respond to already resolved issues.
Clear and concerning trend that has been exhibited in some of our committees. Whenever there has been a pending employment process within our public institutions, the heads of those institutions are repeatedly invited to appear before multiple committees on the same matter. While oversight is a constitutional duty of this House, it must be exercised without creating the perception of undue pressure or causing administrative paralysis.
Further, the House Speaker took issue with the committees that are yet to actualize their mandate with only 17 months to go to the end of the term. Speaker Wetangula emphasized on the need to exercise dignity and decorum in carrying out House business.
The of Police and the Teacher Service Commission have on occasion been subjected to multiple summons over similar issues, with the reports and concerns subsequently escalating up to my office. I urge committees to coordinate their work and avoid duplication and ensure that oversight enhances governance and facilitates service delivery.
House leadership Kimani Ichung'wah and Robert Mbui assured members whose bills and motions are still pending that they will be prioritized once the House resumes sittings.
You can see we are still lagging behind on statements. A total of 591 statements and only 191 were concluded. It tells you that we have over 400 statements. Statements requested by yourselves, many of them on behalf of your members, and 400 of them are still pending before committees.
Independent offices, including the IEBC and the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, also engaged the lawmakers on their expectations. Gishoki Washira, Prime Edition.
Tunatambulika kwa mandhari yetu ya kuvutia,
tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, vyakula vyetu, uchapakazi,
na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu waliobobea.
Libengo ni hapa aka upcoming sponsor. Bila shaka hapa ni kama Pedeshe, ma deep state pia vile cartels.
Tunaenzi talanta za pwani, tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tuko mjengoni kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Usikose kutegea 103.1 Pwani FM, station ambayo itakupa fursa ya kupata uhondo kamili wa pwani na kuleta Wakenya pamoja.
Pwani FM, tafrija kipwani.
Conversation about changing systems, rebuilding dignity, and of course proving that there definitely is life beyond the bars.
Shock on me. This officer says to me, I'm actually here to arrest you. From that point on, the wrongful prosecution begins. I am a convicted felon in this country. The friends I had, all the contacts, everyone has disappeared. So reality checks in. And it's a very harsh reality. Poverty does not equate criminality.
Yeah.
So let us change that in this country and see to it that the opposite of justice is not inequality.
Welcome back to Prime Edition. On to politics. Former Meru Governor Kiraitu Murungi has announced his retirement from active politics to concentrate on other career aspirations.
Speaking when he received an honorary doctorate from Laikipia University, Kiraitu said that in the over 3 decades that he has been in active politics, he has made significant contribution in the political space, and it was now time to give way to emerging politicians to steer the country forward.
Elsewhere, the Kikuyu Council of Elders have called for sobriety in the political scene, warning against any form of violence for political expediency, saying it poses a major risk to the stability the country enjoys today.
Give us on Minor puts that story in perspective.
Kiraitu Murungi is a familiar name in Kenyan politics, having served in various decades in his illustrious political career spanning over 3 decades. Kiraitu, who was first elected in 1992 and actively served until 2017 as governor of Meru, has finally decided to call it a day to pursue other career aspirations.
I was very, very unhappy when I lost the elections. I thought I would win. Actually, every politician thinks they are going to win. They are very surprised when they lose. There's something called post-election depression, which are not been properly highlighted even in scholarship. But we go through it. And for me, when I was in that space, that's when I started thinking about happiness, because I was very, very unhappy myself.
In Nakuru County, the Kikuyu Council of Elders, led by Mzee Ng'ethe Wangugi, have faulted the attack on congregants at the ACK Witima Church in Othaya as a grave assault on Kenya's democratic values. The elders warned against the use of violence and intimidation as country heads to the electioneering period, saying it puts the country on a dangerous path.
Sasa kanisa pahali watoto wetu wako. Ni nani katika Kenya ambao haendagi kanisa? Wazee kama sisi, kama tungekuwako huko, wengine tungevunjika miguu kwa sababu hata hatuwezi tembea. Kwa hivyo tafadhali serikali, kuna vitu zingine za siasa, lakini hiyo si siasa.
While also condemning the incident, Jubilee party leaders in Kiambu County said party leader Uhuru Kenyatta has assured them of a free and fair nomination process. Speaking during a party's aspirations meeting held in Kiambu County, Chairperson Jonathan Mara and former county woman representative Anyo Kabi say the party is positioning itself to build a strong opposition that will challenge the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Sisi na kiongozi wetu wa party leader amesema hivi mara kwa mara, amesema na tunataka kurudia hii. Sisi kama Jubilee tuko katika united opposition. We are together with the rest of the team. Ile team ya kina Kalonzo Musyoka, team ya kina Rigathi Gachagua, akina Eugene Wamalwa, sisi tuko pale ndani. Lakini kwanza lazima tujenge nyumba yetu kabla tujafika kwenye meza ile ya united opposition.
In Garissa County, residents in northern eastern region have been urged to shun clan and ethnic-based politics. Speaking during a meeting with women groups in Garissa, Ahmed Abdullahi, a Sheikh and senatorial aspirant in Garissa, said the people should be given an opportunity to elect the leaders of their choice.
We can't be discussing clans, ethnic, personal interests and achieve any goal or any development. 60 years plus after independence, 13 years of devolution, still this county is not where we wanted to be.
This as university and college student leaders in Machakos County began a mobilization drive to have the youth register as voters ahead of the next year's general polls. They spoke during the IEBC's voter registration drive in Machakos University.
We are targeting every Gen Z mwenye ako na ID na ana kura. That is our target. So this message is to all Gen Zs everywhere across Kenya, not just Machakos County.
Give us minor Prime Edition.
Now, the Auditor General now reveals that 54 million shillings for the financial year 2024-2025 in Taita Taveta County could not be confirmed. Why? What the government, Andrew Mwadime-led executive, terms as a systemic error.
This emerged before the County Public Investment Committee, where the Auditor General established that the county executive paid 732 million shillings to cost waterworks for trade and other payables, despite the company quoting 678 million shillings as their fee.
Now, the committee has referred the matter to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, to investigate.
Abdiaziz Hashim with the details.
Do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee.
The Auditor General flagged Taita Taveta County for misappropriating resources in a report for the financial year 2024-2025.
This 54 million EACC to me is a smoking gun. You cannot say that you're supposed to pay more than the person who is supposed to pay is asking for.
But you see, this conflict of interest, that's the time some people are talking, even you see the muscles coming out of the neck. So anything complained by Senate, and if you can't do, I'm also worried.
This is after it emerged that 54 million shillings could not be confirmed due to inaccurate and long outstanding trade made to Tavevo Water and Sewerage Company Limited for the period under review.
That Coast Water is requiring Tavevo to pay 678 million. But Tavevo is saying they're supposed to pay Coast Water 732 million. Why?
We have realized that there's been an error that has been carried forward over the period.
When you say it's an error, and then interestingly the error accrues now to an amount of more than 700 million, and you know human beings are interesting if we look at it from another angle.
And all these problems are coming out because of Coast Water. This is a total devolved unit.
Appearing before the County Public Investment Committee, Governor Andrew Mwadime was hard-pressed to explain why the county executive paid 732 million shillings to cost waterworks for trade and other payables, despite the company quoting 678 million shillings as their fee.
We sent the IG to arrest them, it doesn't happen, and it gets to end of March.
Meanwhile, the County Public Accounts Committee are considering stopping disbursement of funds to counties whose governors fail to subject themselves to accountability mechanisms provided for in the Constitution.
We can take to the House a resolution that the control of budget should not release funds until this process is done.
This is after Governors Abdi Guyo Visiolo and his Mombasa counterpart Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir failed to appear before the committee on Tuesday to respond to audit queries for 2024-2025 financial year.
This is a county that has a lot of challenges as far as accountability is concerned. You remember very well we went to the ground.
There are governors who are happy to pay 500,000 because they know between January and end of March they can pay 500,000 3 times. And then we have nothing to report to the House.
Abdi Aziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
In the rural areas of Ndodori Center and Ndodori Gwakyogo, bordering Nakuru and Nyandarua counties, donkeys have become the unsung heroes, literally, in everyone's life.
More so, the beast of burden has become everything in the region, ranging from providing vital transport in the almost impossible areas to assisting in domestic chores, such as load carrying.
And a story produced by Lydia Mwangi and voiced by Yusuf Farah, dubbed the unsung heroes of Ndodori. The donkeys of Ndodori have a front row seat into how these animals are helping their owners lead calm and laid-back lives, thanks to the vital role they play.
The quiet rural setup of Ndunduri Gwakiongo at the border of Nakuru and Nyandarua counties, donkeys are slowly helping to make lives better. These domesticated animals are fast becoming the backbone of many families, carrying heavy loads and providing vital support. In the farms, produce is ferried by the same donkeys to local market centers. In other extreme situations like this one, the donkey is also proven to be a key solution to mobility in an area where movement by motor vehicles might be a daunting task. With all of these considerations in mind, the communities ensure that these unsung heroes are also well taken care of. After a hard day's work, the donkeys are treated to a meal and water.
Nampenda sana kwa sababu hunisaidia kazi mingi. Na ndio sababu hata mimi nikifika nyumbani naishughulikia, naipea chakula ili naye isikie ikiwa nyumbani.
And a soothing song is also part of the menu. The communities say the donkeys are fast becoming a part of their daily lives.
Na punda mmoja wangu nampenda sana, namuita Saimo. Sasa juu ninauza miche, mi huwa natumia Saimo wangu kupeleka pengine mkulima mwingine anataka kwenda kupanda miche, akuje achukue.
Kuleta mazao ama kupeleka bolea wanatumia punda, maana mahali kwingine hakupitiki na kitu kingine isipokuwa tu punda ama miguu ya binadamu.
Punda wangu namuita, anaitwa Toto. Toto namuita, namwekelea mizigo kama fertilizer, mahindi, viazi, inanipelekea kwenye nataka.
And it's not just at home and in the farms. The donkeys aid in urban waste management, hauling garbage.
The landlords have an agreement with the donkey owners to ferry the solid waste. Eventually, we would want them to be licensed. We would want to know who they are, so that our engagement with them is formal.
The animals are, however, often overlooked, exposing them to dangers of individuals looking to make a quick buck through the slaughter and sale of their meat.
Kama hapa Ndodori juzi tu walichinja punda wanne. Hapa Kadhioro wamechinja tena punda pale. Na wanachinja punda, wanawacha mafupa pale peke yake, nyama wanabeba. Punda wakiendelea hivyo, hakika hatutakuwa na punda. Punda wetu ni kumaliza, tutamaliza.
Watu wengi wamekuwa wakinyanyasa mnyama huyu ambaye ni punda. Apewi chakula ya kutosha, ameumia, amepigwa, ako na vidonda na vinginevyo, pengine ni mgonjwa, pengine ako na minyoo, pengine makwapa sio mazuri.
Organizations such as Brook East Africa and Farming Systems Kenya are, however, working with their owners and training them to provide care for the animals and reduce injuries they incur.
Tunawafunza maneno kukata kwato za punda zikikuwa sana, ili punda kwenye urahisi anapotembea.
Tumekuwa tukifunza pia madaktari ambao ni wako kwenye field, kwa ground. Tunawafanya kazi na wao, tunawaeleza jinsi wanavyostahili kukua wakiassociate na wakulima na vile wanavyostahili kutibu wanyama.
Tunawafunza jinsi ya kutengenezea punda shelter ili kuiweka wakati wa mvua au jua kali, na pia kuilinda kutokana na waizi ambao wanaiba punda na kuwachinja.
If you look back at how the donkey was being treated a few years ago and the way it is being treated today, there's still this a very big change.
Walking side by side with their owners, the donkeys serve as a reminder that even development can be started through 4 humble hooves.
Ukimtunza vizuri, atakufanyia kazi yote ambayo unataka kuifanya.
Welcome to the day's business.
Mining Principal Secretary Harry Kimtai has waded into the Shanta gold mining project in Ikolomani, Kakamega County, asserting that while land ownership will be respected, the gold beneath it constitutionally belongs to all the people of Kenya.
Here is Sylvia Gatti with the details of that story.
The debate on land rights about natural resources has been raging since the discovery of gold deposits in Ikolomani, Kakamega County, which has prompted Mining Principal Secretary Harry Kimtai to weigh in.
We follow the due process of obtaining the consent in accordance to the ownership of land. All right. So there is no day. But now when you unreasonably, and this word, unreasonably withheld, then you have denied the government the rights to its minerals.
As the government maintains the minerals belongs to all the people of Kenya and must be exploited for national development, residents of Ikolomani, where gold was discovered, are urging authorities to strengthen safeguards to ensure mining activities do not disrupt livelihoods. He is assuring residents that the county government will closely oversee benefit-sharing initiatives, including construction of public facilities such as schools, roads, and hospitals.
We follow the due process of obtaining the consent in accordance to the ownership of land. All right. So there is no day. But now when you unreasonably, and this word, unreasonably withheld, then you have denied the government the rights to its minerals, because the definition of the minerals is that it belongs to the people of Kenya.
Ikolomani residents are calling for a clear demarcation of mining land to prevent conflicts, particularly among artisanal miners. Sylvia Gatti for Prime Edition.
Financial institutions should shore up capacity against cybersecurity threats, having been identified as a major growth risk by the latest survey by PricewaterhouseCoopers.
The report indicates that digital banking continues to gain popularity, with half of banks across East Africa are processing 75% of customer transactions electronically, highlighting the urgency of addressing cybersecurity challenges.
Here's Regina Manyara with the details.
The number of cybersecurity threats jumped to 4.5 billion incidents in the April quarter, hitting a record according to data from the Communications Authority of Kenya. Cybercriminals exploited system vulnerabilities linked to outdated software, misconfigurations, and weak controls. Joroge says this exposes growing risks as organizations accelerate digital adoption.
Digitization is currently one of the main focus areas for banks, and 70% of the banks
that we spoke to are investing heavily in mobile and internet channels and getting into partnerships with fintechs, telcos, and other technology players.
According to the latest PricewaterhouseCoopers banking survey, 40% of banks across the East African region are already processing more than 3/4 of customer transactions electronically, with the figure expected to rise in the coming years, intensifying exposure to cyber risks.
Banks in East Africa are currently navigating uncertain economic times and changing regulatory positions and changing customer needs.
He's advising institutions to increase investments in cybersecurity interventions to secure long-term resilience and scalability in the fintech space. Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Let's now take you to Parliament. Parliament is amending the standing orders to accommodate decisions made by state offices with some executive powers and other bodies that Kenya is a member.
Now, the Clerk of the National Assembly, Samuel Njoroge, says that the amendment will see such decisions debated by Parliament before being implemented in Kenya.
He was addressing members of Parliament at commencement of the 2026 legislative retreat for members of the National Assembly in Naivasha.
Why would cabinet ministers of other countries be deciding on the import duty for Kenyans? Therefore, that's a role that has been given to the National Assembly moving forward. We'll be, therefore, introducing it in our standing orders. But before that, we'll be sensitizing the National Treasury, the Ministry of Trade, the East Africa Community, to bring the instruments to the House, probably ahead of the finance bill, so that they can be considered.
Je, wewe ni mpenda soka? Na je, wajua kuwa KBC mwenzio wako wa dhati michezoni anakujali? Ndio maana KBC Channel 1 hukuletea taarifa na uchambuzi wa soka.
CAF ndio wamechukua usukani
humu nchini, barani Afrika na ugaibuni, ikiwemo EPL, Serie A, Bundesliga na ligi zingine. Mashabiki pia hutuzwa kwa kujibu maswali kuhusiana na soka.
Swali letu la leo,
haya yote ni kwenye kipindi cha Dunda Dunda kwenye KBC Channel 1 kila Ijumaa kuanzia saa 5 asubuhi hadi saa 6:30 mchana.
Nawahimiza Wakenya waendelee watch Dunda Dunda show.
KBC, mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
On to sports now. A delegation from the Confederation of African Football, CAF, is expected to tour Kenya next month to assess the progress of construction works at the Raila Odinga International Sports Complex and rehabilitation works at both Nyayo Stadium and also Kasarani Stadiums as Kenya prepares to co-host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations with Tanzania and Uganda.
Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Mboya said completion of construction works now stands at 85% during an inspection tour of the complex with the Defense Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya.
Fred Moki opens our sports segment.
The government has stepped up its preparations to co-host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON with Tanzania and Uganda as it seeks to successfully host the tourney for the first time. On Tuesday morning, Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Mboya and Defense Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya toured Kenya's main venue, the Raila Odinga International Sports Complex, to assess its preparedness. The government has disclosed plans to invite a high-level CAF inspection team in advance to evaluate the progress of the key stadia earmarked for the AFCON matches to ensure they are compliant.
As a region, we find this as an opportunity. We are very confident. The president of CAF has given us a vote of confidence to ensure that we host AFCON 2027. We actually have the flag. We have been given the flag.
We are at 85% completion, and we give an assurance to Kenyans that we are going to guard the hosting rights for AFCON 2027 very close to heart.
Mboya says the contractor is finalizing external works and the training facilities by end of next month, with both Nyayo and Kasarani stadia set for an uplift. The Raila Odinga International Sports Complex, on the other hand, is a flagship project under the government's Sports Infrastructure Development Program and is expected to play a central role in Kenya's co-hosting of the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations with Tanzania and Uganda.
We are very happy and satisfied that there's good progress of the infrastructure of the stadium and all the other amenities that are ongoing.
Frederick Muki for Prime Edition.
The national men's futsal team are determined to overturn the Africa Cup of Nations results in their favor when they host Namibia tomorrow in the second leg at the Kasarani Indoor Arena.
Now, the team, which is making its debut in the qualifiers, lost 8-4 to the Brave 5 of Namibia in the first leg last Friday at the Dome in Swakopmund in Namibia. I beg your pardon, that was a difficult one. Kenya had aimed for a positive result away from home to boost their chances of making it to the 2026 final.
Morocco, but they fell short of the target. They have a tall order to proceed to the next and decisive round against Libya and have called on fans to turn up in large numbers and cheer them to victory.
The Kenya versus Namibia Futsal Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers will be played tomorrow at 4 p.m. at Kasarani. Make sure you attend it. It's free for all, by the way, according to the Kenya Football Federation. Athletics Kenya has officially cancelled the World Athletics Indoor Trials that were scheduled to take place on the 30th and the 31st this month here in Nairobi, Kenya, citing unavoidable circumstances.
In a statement released to the media, the Federation informed athletes, officials and stakeholders that the trials will no longer be held as planned.
Now, that cancellation affects athletes who are set to compete for the slots on Team Kenya for the upcoming World Athletics Indoor Championships.
Following the cancellation of the trials, Athletics Kenya has said that the national team to the World Athletics Indoor Championships set for March 20th to 22nd in Poland will now be selected through a time-based and merit-based process. According to the Federation, athlete selection will be conducted after the official World Athletics qualification window closes on the 8th of March. Performances recorded during the qualification period will be closely monitored to determine the final team. Team Kenya's selection will be limited to the 60 meters for men, 60 meters hurdles for women, the 400 meters, 800 meters, 1500 meters, and 3000 meters men and women races.
Adding, I think, just no.
Athletics Kenya has advised athletes to continue training and participating in upcoming competitions and listed on the Federation's calendar, noting that performances in these events will play a key role in the final selection process. Frederick Muki for Prime Edition.
The Professional Golfers of Kenya PGK Equator Tour concluded at the Royal Nairobi Golf Club with the Safaricom team of Samuel Njoroge, Mtai Kibugu, Mohit Medirata and Matthew Wahome emerging the winners of the Corporate Shield after finishing the season with 8,555 points ahead of Kenya Airways, who amassed 6,280 points, while the Johnny Walker team had 6,025 points.
Well, Greg Snow was crowned the overall winner after accumulating 4,450 points, delivering consistent performances across the tour to clinch the top honors.
Meanwhile, Kenyan professional golfer Njoroge Kibugu has entered the top 100 golf rankings in Africa following his remarkable showing at the just concluded inaugural season of the Sunshine Development Tour East Africa Swing, where he emerged victorious.
I didn't have my best stuff, but I managed to get a score in of 3 under. I feel like my game is there. It's just a matter of time before it clicks.
Well, Tiano Barry continued his recent goal-scoring form as he rescued a point for Everton in the tough
places above relegation zone.
Elsewhere, Girona were also held to a 1-0 draw by Getafe in the Spanish La Liga, a result that saw them move to 10th position with 25 points.
Getafe's poor run of form, on the other hand, saw them drop to 17th position with 22 points, with a scare of falling in the relegation zone.
And finally, in the Italian Serie A, bottom-placed Hellas Verona lost 3-1 to Udinese to remain bottom of the table with 14 points.
Udinese's emphatic win saw the move to 10th position with 29 points on the table.
His first for the club.
Minutes to the top of the hour, we've got to go. We want to thank you on behalf of the Prime Edition team for watching. My name is Mboya. Is there something you want to read before we go?
I am Muchuma Odim. Got quite a number of reactions, especially on the story of Sebastian. Quick acknowledgements. Jekonia Ogara Ndonchi. You're saying thank you, Governor, for sponsoring Sebastian. And quite a number of people on a number of news items. But we don't have time for now. I am Muchuma Odim. Our sign language expert tonight is Lensa Odingo.
And good luck to Sebastian. From all of us here, good night and God bless you.
Sahi, ukidao star 419 hash option 4 ama uingie kwa tushinde.com, hakuna probox. Jaribu.
Ni ukweli. Yaani nimeshaingia na ndio tunafyeka.
Ya inaona iko ndani. Wanaongelea nini hao?
Ni shamba. Na sio moja, sio mbili, shamba 3 hapa Juja.
Very nice.